Oh, and before I forget, Bethan, thanks for listening to the whole podcast. Podcast? I'll go again. Jesus Christ. Hello and welcome to episode 10, the last 7, episode X, a not so philosophical wax regarding the last 7 days. I'm your host, Dan Rowley. I'm ecstatic to welcome my co-contributors this evening, Antonio Romola.
Hey folks.
And Kenneth Trainer. Your usual scream isn't there, Ken, because I've had to take it out of the last 2.
That was the point I was trying to make.
It was it was one of the clunkier edits, man, that I'm happy to put my name to. Antonio Romola, how's it going? Justin Cliff, hello. And Ken Trainer. We are going to...
That's how it happened?
Excellent. Right, we're going to kick off straight away, get into it. Tone,
Mm-hmm.
What's the best thing that's happened to you this week?
Well, I actually haven't got a best thing, mate.
Oh, no.
I've got two worst things.
Isn't that bad?
No, it's not. It's been bad. It's just that I haven't really been doing anything that exciting. It's been quite mundane. So really, there is no highlight.
Is it housework?
And I think it's the fact that the things that were supposed to be highlights became my worst things, to be honest. So that's kind of how it's ended up. One of them could have very well been a highlight, but it didn't work out that way.
Right, let's go.
So the first thing that happened to me that I was very disappointed about was I went for a night out in Swansea, which I haven't done for a very long time. It's not something that I do on a regular basis.
Sounds like you're already on a bit of a loser there, mate.
Yeah. Well, things have changed a lot since I was young enough to just enjoy anything that involved drinking. But I feel like I've changed slightly anyway. But I don't think that was entirely the reason for why it all went tits up. So I went for a night out in Swansea on Wine Street. I don't know if anyone knows that Wine Street. It's basically just a street that's just packed with clubs. And if you're is it called Wine Street or is it just it's called Wine Street. And if you go out in Swansea, that's basically where everyone goes, just on that street, because that's where everything is. There are pubs and stuff elsewhere, but Wine Street is the busiest for clubs, packed with it. But anyway, so we're on Wine Street, and to be honest, the night didn't get off to a very good start because first place we went was Lloyd's, which is like a Wetherspoons, and the music was dull and it was just full of middle-aged people and it was just horrible. Wasn't my cup of tea. Then I thought it would get better when we moved on to a different club, but it didn't, because I went into a club that was just full of gypsies. Gypsies with like some tone. Well, it seemed like gypsies.
What do you mean? Define gypsy.
Oh god, well there were a load of guys with skinheads and chipped teeth and wearing check shirts and jeans that were just too tight for them, and shoes that didn't match their belt, that kind of thing, and women that were just like nearly half naked, just freaking strutting all this shit all over the place.
Oh, that must have been horrible. Yeah, that must have been awful.
Gypsies, that's what they were. They were there on the stage, and it was horrible. There was a man there that kept on the dance floor every now and again. He was doing the most boring, like, male dancing that you can imagine, like that you'd expect in a club, just kind of like moving the arm up and down a little bit and just bobbing up and down on right to left foot.
That's how I dance.
Every now and again, he would just go down into the full split. Just drop into full split, thinking it was the most impressive thing ever. No one looked interested. Everyone else in there was just looking at him and laughing, taking the piss. But yeah, so I thought we'd get better after.
Was he there on his own?
No, I think he was there with his mate, who was like all over this one girl, the gypsy woman. There was just all over, trying to shit all over the place. But so anyway, that was awful. Then we went on to the next place, and I thought, ooh, okay, we're going to go into a club that used to be a Reflex, but has changed hands, but apparently still plays hits, and is still a good place to go for a good dance, because I love dancing. They changed it to Pop World. That's the name of it. That should have given it away straight away. But on the way into the club, when I was desperate for my night to get better, on the way into the club, there was a load of police officers in the middle of the street, like about 20 of them, all like creating like an empty space,
like a barrier around
in the middle of them, and there was a woman or a man on the floor. I couldn't even tell that was being they were giving them mouth to mouth. One of the officers it wasn't even a paramedic. It was a police officer trying to resuscitate this person.
So on your way into your third club, someone was dying outside.
So as I was
God.
I was walking across the road to get into this next club, I saw that, and I was thinking, oh, that's a little bit of a
you don't want that
horrible
anymore.
sight.
No, it's definitely not.
That's put a downer on the night, big time. Yeah. And then I walk into.
That's put a downer on my night.
But the worst thing is, then I walk into Pop World, and the music is all hits on the 90s, and I walk in on Reach for the Stars.
Oh, dearie
and
me.
all I'm thinking is, there's someone dying out there, and people were having such a great time. It was like being brainwashed to be happy in there, and all I kept thinking was, this is so wrong. When outside there was someone literally like dead.
Were you dancing at the time?
No, I couldn't bring myself to do it. It just all felt wrong. It just felt completely wrong.
I couldn't bring myself to dance.
That was
bad.
it. And after being in that club for like an hour or two, went home. But it was so disappointing, the whole thing.
So that was your thing that was supposed to be really good, but turned out to be really shit.
Yeah, that was supposed to be like my highlight of the week, and I thought something great was going to happen, and it was just all wrong.
Welcome to Swansea.
Do you want to hear the second worst thing? Or?
Of course.
Okay, second worst thing.
I think that might take the biscuit though, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of work on my house at the moment.
Oh no, that's a thing that we've never actually spoken about on this podcast.
That's right.
Not only is Antonio a brilliant actor, an all-round great guy and Ben Affleck lookalike, he's also a homo. No.
Yeah.
And your granddad owns a lot of property, doesn't he?
Well, yeah. I'm one of those fortunate people that whose granddad has worked really hard all his life to own properties that he can pass on down to his grandchildren, and I'm one of those lucky grandsons.
If it was anybody else, man, when it happened, I remember being, of course, jealous, like straight away, and going, "Oh, bastard!" But then I thought it couldn't happen to a nicer person. I know that you'll appreciate it. I know that you've not taken it for granted. I know that you're not gonna piss about, because you could have easily just partied continuously, saying that you own a house, and that's probably, well, it is the most expensive thing that people buy in their lifetime, isn't it?
Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah.
So that's already happened, but you had somebody come round, have a look at it, realise there was damp, and now you're gutting the whole thing and doing a really wicked job from literally the ground up.
Yeah. So at least if I can't say I bought this house, I can say that I have made it. I spent a lot of money to make it a nice house. You know?
Yeah,
so
save it. Yeah, here, fucking here.
So I feel good about that, because then I feel less guilty about having something that I haven't worked for. Do you know what I mean? I'm making up for that. Do you know what I mean? And I like the fact that I have to do that, otherwise it would feel like I don't deserve it.
And the indelible thought that you were spending a fuck lot less on doing up the house than you would on, say, a whole house.
Yeah. But anyway, I've had my living room replastered a few days ago, like completely replastered, and I had a plasterer in to do it, and thought he'd completed the job, and then as I was painting the room, I noticed when I got to the windows that just around the edges of the window, he'd forgot to do it. He literally just left it. Just left around the rim. The reason I hadn't noticed.
That's weird. I thought, like, if any job to like get into every single corner, it'd be
I know. I didn't notice because it was like a corner that was facing the window outside
Right. Okay.
the house.
Yeah.
So I couldn't see it unless I was literally putting my side of my face up to the window, looking to the left or looking to the right. That was the only way I could spot it. So anyway, I spotted it. Texted him and said, "I've just noticed you've missed some of the plastering." Text me back, apologised, said, "No worries, I'll be around your house tomorrow evening to finish off the job. It'll only be a handful of plaster, shouldn't take me long." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, good. I'm happy with that. Thanks a lot." Anyway, tonight is the night he was supposed to turn up. Didn't turn up, but really, really pissed off. One, because I needed him to turn up so I could crack on with painting. Two, my girlfriend went to walk the dog this evening and saw him in the park playing football with his mates. She got back and told me, and I said, "Well, did you say something to him?" And she said, "No, I didn't say anything to him because I didn't want to be like an annoying, girlfriend type of person to tell him off for,
Well, she's not his girlfriend.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, "Oh, you should have said something. You should have just said, 'Oh, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be on that?'" But she chose not to say anything. But anyway, I texted him then anyway, and I said, have you forgotten where you're supposed to come plaster? What's that? And he just texted me back and said, yeah, sorry mate, memory like a sieve. Don't worry, I'll be around there tomorrow. The plaster's already in the car, ready to go. Yeah.
That'll be dry by the morning, surely.
Well, there we are. So, again, something that should have been a highlight of me being able to finish painting the room was destroyed by the fact that I've got a plasterer that forgets to plaster a whole room.
To do the work that you paid him for. I know that's what you're annoyed about, man. Any sort of cash. Because you've paid him everything, obviously he won't be charging you any more money when he comes back. Well, or he might
And if he doesn't ever come back, then I'm going to have to pay some plasterer to come just to do like 5 minutes worth of plastering. And who the hell's going to want to do that?
I'll round it up to an hour.
Yeah, they'll round it up to an hour or a half hour. We were saying, unless you know a tradesman, that's got to be part of the fiddle. I'm not saying that it's entirely dishonest. It kind of is. But I think it's got to be across the board. Because I think it might be human nature after a while to go, yeah, I could do this job in a day. But I could also make twice as much money if I do the job which this person isn't capable of doing. Over the course of 2 days, I make twice as much money. I think you just would.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like I'm really greedy.
But if you were the friend that was being asked to do a job, you'd be gutted. You'd be like, oh, I know, because you're my mate, I'm going to have to give you a discount now. I could be doing this job. I could be doing this job for someone else and making the actual money I'm deserve.
So you say, so you're saying it all equals out because of like favours that plasterers do for their mates. We're picking on plasterers individually, but mechanics, plumbers. You're saying that because they don't charge their mates, it's all equal out. That's why they charge Johnny own a house like sort of 600 quid. Kenneth, man, what's the best thing that's happened to you this week?
On Sunday, walked across the Transporter Bridge in Newport.
Oh, cool.
I've done that, man. It's amazing.
It was amazing. I loved it. I thought I'd made a mistake when I was about 3/4 of the way up. It was really windy, really high. Couldn't see my house from the top.
Oh, annoying.
Obscured by Asda from that angle.
Bloody Asda.
But yeah, it's very cool. The bit that you walk on is just metal grating, so you basically see through it.
But when I did it, the worst thing for me was because as the cart passes underneath, it's really weird because it feels like it's moving.
Yeah, of course,
And I think it does slightly shake.
Move,
it does slightly shake the whole thing, and that's horrible when you just look down and just see it passing underneath you, and the noise it makes and the fact that it shakes a little bit.
It's like a train, isn't it? It's just on.
When I remember it wasn't operational rather for a long time.
Yeah.
And about 6 or 7 years ago, must have been, because I was only new in Newport. It opened and it started moving again, and there was like queues, and there were like hundreds of people, engineers and bridge enthusiasts and things like that who came just to see it working, not to go on or anything like that, just to see and just to take pictures.
There's an exact replica of the same one we've got in Newport in a place in France, but it's smaller.
Oh,
wicked! A lot
wicked!
smaller. Yeah, I don't know which way around it was. Maybe they built the big one first, and then in France they loved it and wanted the same thing, so had the same thing done but smaller. No. Maybe the river was smaller, and that's the only reason why.
That's definitely the reason. Yeah, the river was smaller. They would have built a massive one, but it would have gone 2 miles into the town, crushing people's houses. All right, Gaz has turned up. How's it going, man?
Good. How about yourselves? You all good?
Yeah.
Feeling great, man.
Well, since you've been looking forward to this for the last couple of weeks, Gaz, you must be brimming with best and worst things of the last week.
Well, I mean, yes, but like the best things that happened for me for the last week was like, I don't know when the cut-off is. Would it be from Sunday into the week?
What's the best thing that's happened to you in the last 2 days? in living memory.
Well, recently, definitely within the last 7 days, I played.
That counts.
I played the new Silent Hill demo.
Oh right, okay.
Oh, cool.
Which was quite good fun and was surprisingly scary. I mean, I knew it was like weird, but like it was proper diving across the room, scary. I couldn't play the first Resident Evil game because I shit
I was
myself.
going to say,
because like, I got to a point in like, sort of maybe a bit through the first level and some dogs jump out and I went, Jesus H. Christ, no, it's not going to happen. So I used to hang out with friends who played it because I was like, I want to see how this pans out. But just used to go like, I saw myself as more of a computer game strategist. Sat to the side of somebody going, maybe yeah, maybe get that extra reel of typewriter ribbon so you can save the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, use some health. There's probably a zombie coming up here. And when they die, going, damn it. It's alright, we'll go back, we'll start again.
It's like that game that was on TV, Nightmare, was it Nightmare?
Oh,
Where
Nightmare
you
was
put
great.
The knight's helmet thing on and walk around with the satchel.
Always thought of myself on that show and doing a much better job. Not as the player, but the player would have to be somebody I trusted and who would just listen to everything I said. There was 4 kids, 5 kids. 4 of them sat down with the dungeon. What was his name?
Oh, fuck.
I know he had a little elf called Pickle for a couple of series.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was this guy. I always thought it was Brian Blessed.
Yeah.
But I always thought that you could do a much better job as one of the kids being the instructor and just telling the other 3 kids to shut the fuck up because you just saw the games in front of you. It might have been a lot different on your TV screen at home, but yeah, walk 2 because there were just 3 kids arguing. 3 paces for 2 paces, 2 long paces forward, 3 paces, 3 small paces. So annoying. The Crystal Maze was a fucker for that as well. People stood outside going, "Get the coins in the bucket." There's a little sign, there's like a cryptic clue. Ooh, do the coins go in the bucket? ? And then you have to put coins in a bucket over a bit of fucking water. And there's just 10 people go, "Put the coins in the bucket." Go over the water, put the coins in the bucket. Stephen, put the coins in... Stephen, put the coins in the bucket. You're looking confused, Tone. Have you ever seen the Crystal Maze?
I did watch it, mate.
Right, cool.
I think when I was watching it as a kid, I was watching it, but not really watching it. Like I didn't really. There was a lot of it that I wasn't.
How do you remember doing
I
this?
wasn't really understanding what was going on, like in between. Like I knew what the tasks were.
In between?
I never really followed a lot of the in between bits.
I think you've given it a bit too much credit. There's no like massive narrative. They had to go into different rooms. There was like Aztec world and the games, future world with a whole computer in it.
I don't know. I guess I wasn't that drawn. I guess I wasn't that drawn into it. I was more involved in Zap. Remember Zap?
Oh my god!
That was more
on CITV.
Yeah.
Big sort of
like
cut out paper remote control, and it was just little comedy sketches for kids.
I was into that.
And they had an art attack in there as well somewhere.
They did. There's a really good video on YouTube that I'll chuck a link up to, which is Art Attack, like 18 plus or something it's called, and it's like the sound and obviously the voice of Neil Buchanan speaking over, because remember, like, he was in a studio, big pens and big sort of crayons in the background, big pair of scissors, and then he'd just be drawing and he'd tell you how to do a different piece of art, but then the camera would go like above him and above his head so you could see how he was drawing it. So somebody has filmed that shot, but like drawing a big cock and balls. with Neil Buchanan's voice over the top of it saying, and just 2 big round circles here. And just maybe a couple of flecks of stuff coming out of the end.
Yeah.
Was he Irish?
Was that an Irish voice?
Yeah.
Oh no. Did anybody this week see the is it Berkhamsted? The place with the canal map?
Berkhamsted, yeah.
Berkhamsted canal map.
So a penis map, a map that looks like a penis.
Wow. That's quite a healthy stream down the middle there.
Yeah, and 3 bollocks by the look of things as well.
Well, one could be the prostate.
The prostate button. That's not where your prostate is.
No, but you know,
underneath the balls.
No, it's behind. It's behind.
You should get
it's
to a
not
doctor,
green
my
either,
friend. Oh, what's that?
It's not green either, or it shouldn't be. So
Wow, there's even a
Just saying.
path like to split the bell end from the foreskin. That's
yeah, a
amazing.
little arrow.
Nobody is guilt-free on that map. You can say it's an honest mistake and that canals run in sort of these sorts of shapes, but there is no way that when that map was produced, nobody went at the design office from its inception. It was a bet that they had at like the New Year's Eve party.
So there's a bird flying overhead on this map saying, "Stay safe, stay away from the edge."
It'd be wicked at the helmet end if they had it turn into like a log flume to full on ejaculate you out of the plane.
Yeah,
there's just a
big
water
slide.
park
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah.
end of it, right on the tip of it is a water park.
Yeah, get your photo taken, someone could be just chucking a jizz substitute in your face.
Yeah, giving out free ice cream.
Yeah.
Or something.
Interestingly as well, I can't help but notice. There's an arrow pointing out the one end, the gland's end. At the other end, the arrow points and says Milton Keynes.
Milton Keynes, it's the bollocks.
Worst thing of the week was getting bullied by a bloke in Spa about what tobacco I should get.
Oh no! What, did he work there, or was he just
Yeah.
behind you?
I went in there and I asked for Cutter's Choice, and I said, "Can I get?"
Oh, what a wanker's tobacco! You hear this, fucker? Cutter's Choice. Fucking hell.
I asked for Smooth Blend, right? And,
Ooh,
yeah.
smooth. Smooth, is it?
But yeah, so he turned around and then slapped
Sorry.
down the blue packet, which said Exquisite Blend or something like that over the top. And I said, "Oh, sorry, I asked for Smooth Blend." And he just jabbed his finger onto it, pointing at it, saying, "Look at it, it is Smooth Blend." And I looked at it and read that it wasn't Smooth Blend. Looked at him, and I could tell that in his eyes he was just like, "I'm not fucking turning around again to get you the fucking Smooth Blend." So I was just like,
What happened
Okay.
to break the stalemate? How come you're not still standing there?
So I just went, "Okay, fine, I haven't tried this one before, so that'll be new, that's great." And then I just sort of caved and took the tobacco that I didn't really want and paid for it and left. So
I went when I was in college. I went to a really rough pub in a place called Wild Mill, and I asked for a pint of cider, and the guy sniffed, went, and brought back a pint of lager, and he just plonked it down. I promise, man, it sounds like a fucking film. He plonked it down so that a bit of it spilled out, and then just looked at me. And I gave him £5. He gave me £1 change. So next week you're doing the gallon of milk challenge with Justin. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm really nervous about it because I know he's going to be amazing at it, mate. He drinks milkshakes like nearly every day.
All right, he wasn't joking when he said it.
No, he wasn't joking about it at all, mate. He drinks, and chocolate as well. Like, I swear he always goes for the most chocolatey milkshakes he can find.
Chocolate.
And the biggest, like, size bottle he can get as well. And he has them nearly every day, seriously. So I really think he'll struggle a bit, but he'll know.
But not as much as you, is what you're saying.
No way. So we worked out earlier, didn't we, that it's going to be about 8 pints.
Yeah,
each
it's 8
to
pints.
drink. My practice has gone to shit. All I've done really is just one half a pint before bed one night. That's what I've done so far.
Hardly practice, just a lovely good night milk.
Did you have a good night's sleep?
It wasn't warm, so
Oh,
it was just cold.
warm,
If I'd
touch of
warmed it up,
whiskey, bit of honey, lovely.
would have sorted me
I'll
out.
get you off to sleep.
I feel kind of guilty because I think it was my suggestion.
It certainly was,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
a gallon of milk was your suggestion, yeah,
Yeah.
well done.
I'm going to do some research on it before we do it and check if
Yeah,
there's
I've
any
seen it
side
in
effects of
action.
drinking too much milk.
Don't do that. It'll spoil the fun.
No, I want to just double check that because I don't want to end up with.
People have been drinking milk
Just
forever.
Yeah, just vomit. It'll just make you more. It would be like because we're supposed to be lactose intolerant as a species, so it'll just sort of like force
Shit.
that.
I'll be for it.
It'd be fine.
Any nominations for Hero of the Week?
On the way up here, I was having a look at my phone, and I saw a news story. I don't know how old it is though, about a guy who was drunk and climbed onto a plane
Right.
through the baggage thing, and he nicked loads of stuff from Costa Coffee, 36 quid's worth of food. And he was
No
drunk,
way.
he'd missed a flight to Ibiza or something, and he went through the baggage bit and managed to get up onto a plane. It wasn't.
Wow.
There wasn't anyone on the
Legend.
plane, but I don't want to praise idiots here, but
Sounds like cunt. Sounds like cunt of the week without question.
yeah, well maybe, but
yeah, well, he certainly does. Yeah, he's in court today. He was Lee Jezard. He told cleaning staff that
He was
he was
drunk.
the co-pilot during a drunken escapade at Birmingham Airport.
yeah.
Wow, good job he didn't end up flying that plane. You never know.
I think other than the cleaners, I think somebody might have noticed the co-pilot going in through the baggage carousel.
With arms full of food,
Yeah,
sandwiches.
Just falls onto the mouth.
just loads of
Vomiting as it goes up. Like,
duty free under the arm and starts just swigging a bottle of Glenfiddich on the way. I'm the co-pilot.
take me to Scotland.
I don't know whether it lands on Hero or Cunt. I thought it was a bit interesting.
Well,
Definitely.
little stole £36.45 worth of foodstuffs from the Cafe Nero shop.
That's it, Captain.
Breached airport security and then climbed onto a plane. He lost his job as a hotel manager when his employer found out about the
Yeah,
incident,
not surprised.
and he was found £95 for each of the 3 offences.
How many? Oh, 3. Right.
Yeah.
That's not a lot though.
Together with £185 costs and a £20 victim surcharge.
Son of a bit. 20 quid. Who did that go to?
Well,
20 quid victim surcharge, like the cleaners who were fooled by this criminal mastermind. Get a fiver each. Yeah, well done. David Fredrickson of the USA. He was driving his semi-truck along the 110 near Biloxi, Mississippi. He saw an accident. A grandmother had T-boned an 18-wheeler truck while attempting to merge onto an interstate. Fredrickson didn't react with the customary hail of profanity and terror that characterises most dashcam videos. Instead, his own dashcam captures him stopping his vehicle and calmly striding towards the wreck with a fire extinguisher. His actions inspire other commuters to help, and they band together to pull the woman and her 1-year-old granddaughter from the car's wreckage.
Okay.
Fucking ledge. Chuck a link up to that video, rather.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
So there's a lot about a man when he carries a fire extinguisher in his car.
Well, he's a trucker. I think they have to have them.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
trucker,
have to,
sorry.
don't they?
No,
Cunt of the week. Any nominations?
That guy in Spa.
That guy in the spa. Of course.
good point, yeah, good one.
Fuck that tobacco bully.
The retail bully.
You're getting the wrong type of cancer.
I'd go with my plaster, Steve.
Oh, nice. Cunt of the week. So 2 good nominations. But the biggest cunt I saw this week was the guy who plays Paul Robinson in Neighbours
Oh, yeah.
on the show Pointless. Paul Robinson was on there with another Australian actress who'd been in Home and Away, Neighbours.
Yeah. It was sort of soap themed, wasn't it? They had a couple from Emmerdale,
Brookside.
a couple from EastEnders,
Yeah.
and 2 from Brookside.
That's right. Yeah, they were just playing the game normally. It's always a bit more jovial when they've got celebrities on. Obviously, they tend to think they have to be a bit more entertaining, so they have a bit more banter. And they got to him, the first question, they said, oh, so Stefan is his name. They said, oh, so Stefan, you're famous for playing Paul Robinson. You're kind of the oldest cast member now. You've been there for the longest time. And he's like, yeah. I've been there for the longest time. It's been pretty good the run. I remember, just first coming into the and just hearing people whisper.
You left, didn't you?
That's right. He left and came back.
Yeah.
And he said, I heard people whispering when I was coming on. I said, oh, there's Paul Robinson, the legend. Oh, yeah, there he is, isn't it? Legend, yeah. No, he's absolutely brilliant. Best actor I've ever seen. And, it's been nice to hear sort of feedback like that. Like, no sense of irony about it whatsoever. Just telling this story about how everybody thinks he's fucking brilliant back home. I may be doing a quiz show here, but in Australia, I'm essentially Jesus.
Yeah, fair point.
So that's why he's cunt then.
I was horrible, man.
because
No,
he
watch
was
the whole
cunt.
thing. I love the show Pointless. I've applied to be on it with Krista.
And how old is he now?
No idea. Pushing 50, I guess.
You applied to be on it with Krista?
Yeah, I applied to be on Pointless. Definitely. I think they may have thought our application forms were taking the piss a bit.
Tweet Richard. You were tweeting Richard Osmond a year ago, weren't you? Trying to get him to go and see the guy's Frankenstein.
That's
show
right,
in
yeah.
Edinburgh. Tweet him again with this.
I will.
Add this to the Pointless application.
Right, okay. Richard Osmond. My name's Dan Rowley. I host the Last 7 podcast weekly with friends of mine. I would really, really like to be on the show Pointless with my friend Krista Jones. She'll be back from America in a couple of weeks. Let's make it happen. Thanks very much. That was my appeal.
Thank you. That was beautiful, Dan.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
I might put
Well
a little background of poppy fields or something like that.
It sounded very sincere. I think he'll buy it.
I really want to go on.
You try and do like a thing like that ice bucket challenge, so like get other people to do something pointless.
That's an interesting thing that's popped up in the last week. I've only seen it in the last week. The ice bucket challenge. It's to raise awareness for motor neuron disease, and now it's either do the ice bucket challenge or donate some money. So everybody's just obviously putting a bucket of water over their head.
No, I thought the idea was that you had to do that, the bucket, film it, and then you have to donate as well. And
Yeah.
The next person, you
donate and then sort of draw attention to the fact you've done it by
yeah,
putting
and
a
then the
bucket
next
of water on
person
your
does
head.
it then,
Yeah.
and I guess.
Oh well,
Yeah.
that's me being far too cynical about
It's
the world
not
around
one
me.
or the
Then.
other. But if you think about it, with people like posting their videos and stuff on YouTube, whatever, on Facebook and that, by the time it spreads, even if every person just donates a quid, you're talking thousands of pounds that go to it.
Yeah.
So it is a good way of doing it.
You're
Yeah.
entirely right.
It's a good way of doing it.
Would you do it?
I'm supposed to do it soon. Yeah, Lauren did it and nominated me as
Oh, really?
one of the next people to do it.
I tell you what. Although
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's been going on for, but it's been going on long enough for there to be several YouTube videos of ice bucket challenge fails.
Yeah.
Which I very much enjoyed when people can't work a bucket. If you want to contribute anything to the Last 7 podcast, you can email us, thelast7podcast@gmail.com, or follow us on Twitter @thelast7. Contribute your best and worst things of the week, your nominations for hero or cunt of the week, a question of tone especially, and that's what's coming up, mate. It's time for a question of tone. Antonio, who's the sexiest cartoon character?
Sexiest cartoon character.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Well, I've got two answers. The first one that came to my head.
I reckon I know it.
Was the
I reckon
I'm
I know
gonna
it.
give you two because one of them is Disney, and I don't think the other one is. The one is the female character out of Roger Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit, of course,
Yeah.
of course
Yeah.
it is.
Jessica Rabbit. And if I had to go for the sexiest Disney princess, I would definitely say, Jasmine.
Which one is Jasmine from? The
Aladdin.
Hunchback.
Yeah.
Oh no, Aladdin. Sorry.
Yeah.
Who's? Oh no, Esmeralda is in the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Is that right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jasmine's the fittest. I think I had a crush on her when I was younger watching Disney. Obviously not now, but when I was younger. I weirdly...
Taking it all the way back to Robin
Really?
Williams, mate. What an influence he's had on your life. Your first two-dimensional crush, and loads of films afterwards. Ken, who's the sexiest cartoon character?
I don't know. You know?
Jessica Rabbit's almost cliche now.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to say Wilma Flintstone.
What about what? Well, why not?
Betty was
Betty,
well fit. in
yeah,
the role.
Betty,
Come on, man.
yeah, she had
Even in
something
the
about
film.
What about Lois Griffin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Was that your answer?
Well, yeah, I've grown to get to know her over the last 10 or so years.
I've seen some images of Lois. Like, I've seen some, like, you know, when
They come up. I'll say it now.
Yeah,
I'll say it proud.
yeah.
They come up on the website X Hamster.
Yeah.
On the side,
Yeah.
toon porn.
And yeah, she looks pretty good in
Who's
those.
watching that? You know.
Yeah, innit?
No one should ever watch that.
Well, I'm not saying no one should ever watch it.
Maybe just. I guess the once was alright.
Yeah, no, the ones is 2 or 3 times.
For me,
It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, for me it was only once. But...
No, well, I haven't watched it at all.
Oh.
We talked about Stefan Dennis, Paul Robinson from Neighbours. I've been reading Paul Robinson's
Oh,
character.
Paul Robinson, the legend.
Legend, yeah. I've been reading his character biography on Wikipedia. In 2007, as part of the reinvention of the serial, Paul's evil ways were mellowed through a brain tumour plot. The section, obviously Wikipedia's kind of section.
Cut out the evil.
Yep. Obviously Wikipedia kind of sections, so, you know, section 1 casting, section 2 character development, and there are 4 subsections: characterization, relationships, leg amputation, and who pushed PR. About the leg amputation, in May 2011 he revealed that he wears a brace on his leg as remembering which leg to limp on was becoming a little distracting.
Well,
That's disappointing, isn't it?
in a legend it is, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's been the
Well-
centre of many high-profile storylines, including money laundering, a leg amputation, being held hostage, convicted to time in prison, and many scams against fellow characters. Like the people you're talking about.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Harold Bishop.
He's been
Your
married.
tuber's mine.
He's been married 5 times and had countless
Fuck
affairs,
off.
proving to be an intense womanizer.
Harold actually tried to kill him.
Really?
Not in real life.
No. It's
But yeah, there was an episode where Harold just had enough, went over there and started strangling him.
Whoa.
what?
Yeah.
And they all still live in the same street. That's the thing. That's the thing about these close-knit communities. It's amazing.
Yeah.
There's everything that goes on. Imagine the house price in that street.
I think I'll round this out, right? There are 2
You
things.
probably you got 1 in 10 chance of being murdered within the year. Don't go to a party at Christmas at the pub, for God's sake.
I'll round this out with knowing two things, right? One, his home is listed as Lassiter's penthouse, whatever that means. And there's a list of occupations that he's had. Paul Robinson throughout his time on the show. So, I mean, he's been there since near the beginning and he's had several stints on the show. So, he was an engineering student.
Of course.
He was an air steward. Manager of the Daniels Corporation from 1986 to 1992. He was the manager and owner of Lassiter's Hotel from 1989 to 1994. From 2005 to 2007, and from 2008, he's still the owner. He was a teacher in 2005, a newspaper editor and owner from 2008 to 2013, co-owner of the watering hole, currently, from 2012. And as of this year, he's the mayor.
Wow.
Fucking hell.
Wow.
What a life, eh?
What a life. No wonder he's such a smug twat.
The
When
journey
he-
to becoming a mayor.
Legend.
Legend, oh yeah, he's a legend. I was fucking unreal. I hope I find a clip so that I can put a link up to it. Because it was as bad as we say. This week in history. There's quite a few this week.
Cool.
Kenneth, mate, I'm sorry, but this week in 1305, Sir William Wallace is executed.
Hung, drawn and quartered.
Yeah. Ouch. A lot of that film is, of course, bollocks. Not great. I don't think he shouted freedom at the end. I think he went, ouch. That fucking hurts. This week in 1990, Tim Berners-Lee opened the World Wide Web.
Cool.
Nice.
So the basis for this whole thing, we had Edison on last week, with the lost chord being the first ever recorded sound heard by other people apart from Edison himself. And this week, Tim Berners-Lee, who done the internet.
How long after he started it up did online porn come along?
12 seconds.
Yeah, I think.
That's what it says here in the thing. Ken, do you remember this? This week in 2004, the Scream and Madonna are stolen from a museum in Oslo.
Yes.
Edvard Munch.
Edvard Munch, yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember it.
The best thing is about this story, I read that they were stolen from this museum. And
It's the Monk Museum, isn't it?
yeah,
In
I
Oslo,
think
yeah.
because of the Ocean's series of films, everybody thinks that it's a massive heist and that there are like sort of 20 people involved with different things, recalibrating computers and alarm systems, 3 getaway drivers, a distraction and all that. They were stolen at gunpoint.
Fucking
Just
hell.
walked in with 2 guys, a shotgun apiece. So take the fucking paintings off the wall, hand them over. Where would they go? Where would they sell those paintings? Why would they be valuable if everybody knew they were stolen?
Probably stolen to order.
Ooh. Just went in, give me the fucking paintings. Or else I'll shoot you.
More
Very
traditional.
well.
Yeah.
Quite valuable, but not as valuable as my life.
That's it. I mean, would anyone like throw themselves in front of the painting just to take the shot?
My
No.
God, you'd be a loser. You'd be a bit of an artistic eccentric, but you'd be like, oh my God, fanatic.
Yeah.
I think you'd be
art.
remembered.
Yeah, because
The
your
man
blood
who
would
loved
probably
art
still be
so
on the
much.
painting.
Yeah.
Bits
Yeah,
of
you'd be
shot and
remembered
stuff.
for all the wrong reasons. The thing is, if you dived in front of it, it just took you through the neck, killing you and still ruined the painting as well.
Yeah.
The man who fucked up everything.
I reckon they would just be like, what an idiot. Afterwards, they'd be like, what
Yeah, we
was
could have
that?
repaired a bullet hole, but unfortunately the acid in his blood has just ruined the painting completely, so it's fucked.
They were recovered obviously 2 years later,
Yeah.
but the story on the BBC News website about the recovery features a picture of the 2 men running away with the paintings.
Nice.
That is
That's
tremendous.
how it's
No, that's even better than how I thought it happened, which was still pretty slick.
Yeah.
But no, in with guns, ran out on the street. They'll be looking for a van. We'll just run with them in our hands. Yeah. They'll be looking for some sort of slick operation. Quick, check the alarm systems. Go.
Crazy.
What happened to that woman who went in to do the picture of Jesus? And she was like, oh no, it's...
Oh,
the
no, that-
restoration thing.
Yeah, that restoration. Was she a nun?
I don't know. I hate looking at it.
Yeah, no, she. Do you remember this time?
What is it?
How long ago now? A year ago?
Was it none that stole a picture of...
No.
It
There was-
was an fresco portrait that she tried to restore and really...
Yeah, she just walked in and started just painting on it, thinking, oh, this will be fine.
Fucked it up.
Yeah.
Is it amazing?
Mate, it's not.
No.
Dude, it's not. It's
Well,
not.
it
it's
depends
horrible.
what you... What
Yeah, it's not-
class
it's-
as amazing.
That's the
Oh
thing,
right,
man.
so it's not like a mess. You can see what it's meant to be, but it's just horrible.
No,
is it?
No.
Bring it up,
Oh, I
Ken.
just
Show
showed
him.
a bloody picture.
All right, he's up there.
It's loaded.
So what? So was she funded to do this?
No,
No.
I think she just thought, I know what I'll do. My good deed for the day. I'll just walk in.
She
Unauthorized
thought, through her faith, she had a pretty good knowledge of the look of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Saviour, and she came up with this.
Oh my God! So is that what it was like originally?
Yeah, that's what it was like with Dan.
Why?
So she tried.
Why did she have to touch it? She could have left it as it was. She
Exactly.
made it look like a nun. She made it look like a nun with, like a two-faced nun with half a, half a why has he got fat lips? Fat lips and a wonky eye. I'd be gutted if I was Jesus up there now.
To be fair,
She's
to
got help
Jesus,
with that.
there are plenty of pictures of Jesus that look pretty bang on. Well, not really. None of him is like sort of a 5 foot.
She got rid of his
Carpenter.
beard on it. She got rid of his beard. She just painted over his beard.
Isn't it weird? Isn't it just like a weird round, like a child's drawing?
Maybe they stopped her before she got to the beard.
Or maybe she was trying to say he would have definitely been clean shaven before they put him on the cross. He would have, done himself up ready.
Our
for the
Lord
occasion.
took pride in his appearance, and he would have definitely had a lovely haircut and a shave before being beaten to death and nailed to some wood. I heard about this guy yesterday when I was looking for things that had happened this week in history. How do you pronounce it, Ken? Is it Abby or A.B. Hoffman?
A.B. Hoffman, I always thought, but it, I don't know. I've never heard him say it.
Have you heard of A.B. Hoffman?
No.
Gaz?
Nope.
Right, it answered a couple of questions for me. Number one, who the fuck was A.B. Hoffman? And number two, in Forrest Gump, which gets another mention on this podcast, there's a bit where he's in Washington, right? And there's a guy, he says, I saw this man, he was wearing an American flag for a shirt. And he liked to say the F word a lot. Now, I was placing, as I grew older and watched the film again and again, all the people from history, from like John Lennon to JFK. And I thought that's definitely somebody from history. But I can't place it, and everybody I asked since didn't know. But apparently it's this guy, A.B. Hoffman. This week, in 1967, Abby Hoffman led his political group, the Yippies, to the viewing gallery at the New York Stock Exchange and stopped trading for 12 whole minutes because he threw $150 worth in dollar bills out on the floor. So for 12 minutes, the New York Stock Exchange stopped because they were all scrambling around for dollar bills on the floor.
Wow.
That's amazing.
What the hell?
There's always more money to be made in the stock exchange,
They make
mate.
so much bloody money, and there they are, all scrabbling for
I think that's the point he was making.
Jesus.
And he made it well.
Greedy.
Greedy as fuck.
That's a good point. That's good point. Well made then.
Yeah, that's the bit in Forrest Gump
bastards.
where he does his speech in front of the.
Yeah, and no one hears it.
Yeah.
Fucking excellent piece of the
Yeah.
film. Awesome.
Yeah, A.B. Hoffman. He was alright.
Sweet.
Sort of, yeah. I think the more I think about it after we were discussing this, I think he wrote a book called Steal This Book in the 70s, and it was all about fighting the government and corporations and stuff. Yeah, the thing is, as I remember it, I'm sure I haven't read it, but I'm sure I've seen it and like looked through it in a shop, and I'm sure, unless I'm confusing this with something else, I'm sure that it was things like if you get a stamped or prepaid envelope from a corporation, it was saying just sellotape it to a brick and take it to the post office, because they don't have to pay for the stuff. You can also get rid of your rubbish this way and things like that. Things like that, unless I'm getting it confused with someone else. I'm looking up stuff now, and one of the links from this page about Steal This Book is to the Anarchist Cookbook.
Yeah, I know,
Remember that? Having that on the old the jumping on a 3.5 inch.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
What's the Anarchist Cookbook?
It's about how to blow shit up.
Yeah, apparently it's illegal to own it.
It's illegal to own it.
Yeah, you can get done if they find you got it. When I
But you can still buy it.
No. It was thing. Used to get it on back in the 90s, wasn't it? I guess. Yeah. I had it on a 3.5 inch floppy disk for an old Amiga 600. So yeah, this is before we had PCs and things. It was it came like that. But it was all the sections on explosives.
Yeah.
How to make them, different things. How to, I don't know, it was taught
Pick
grind
locks.
up the skin off of roasted peanuts and smoke that. Scrape out the interior banana skins. There was things on that. There was stuff about how to pick locks.
Yeah, the whole thing about banana skins as well, like the cooking them and then scraping the inside of banana skins. That gave rise to a huge fucking fad, especially in my comprehensive school, of people just drying bananas and smoking them. Now, there's something to be said about the chemicals that you can get from scraping out the inside of a banana once it's been cooked at a certain temperature. But drying out a banana skin, crushing it up and smashing it in a Rizzler tastes fucking horrible. There's nothing whatsoever to get you high in the slightest.
No, I think if you are doing it that way, apparently you have to smoke about the equivalent of 6 kilos of bananas before you start getting any sort of effect.
Amazing. So
Exactly.
yeah, if anything, you'd raise suspicion by buying all those bananas first of all.
Yeah, and a bong.
Shove it all in a bong.
Yeah.
Not even dried out.
Yeah, yeah.
With the
Just
banana
one
still
by
in it,
one.
Push
Just
it
like-
in, pressing it in.
Yeah.
You'd feel like you were high of some sort of drug if that was what you were dedicating your life to.
Yeah, definitely.
You can get charged under the terrorism law in the UK for having a copy of this.
That's
Holy
true, yeah,
shit!
Wow.
Better
Yeah.
get rid of it.
I'm not surprised.
More recently, in County Durham, UK, in 2010, Ian Davison and his son were imprisoned under anti-terrorism laws for manufacturing ricin and their possession of the anarchist cookbook.
Amazing.
Yeah, there you go.
I think I
But
would.
is it as a book, or because I didn't realise you could ever actually?
No, I had it on a floppy disk.
Yeah.
I had it on my mate just popped it on my computer when I built my PC in uni. He just was setting up all this stuff, putting on like copies of Windows and things, and said, "Oh, I'll put this on there. Have a look in your own time." I was like, "What is it?" He was like, "I can't tell you too much about it because I don't want to be associated with it." I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Good little stories in it and stuff though, because there was things about how to get free phone calls and things.
Yeah.
There's a little story about like if you that certain thing that you did with a dialing code, you replace certain numbers that you'd always get the same. It would go to this same place, and then the same person would pick it up and then just hang up. And the guy that wrote it talking about. I mean, I don't know if this is true or it's fictional. In America, he was saying that he knew a guy who worked for the phone company. He said, "What is this thing? If you do this, it always goes to the same place. Like, why is that? Like any phone number, it's someone with a dialing code." And the guy came back telling him that it was some nuclear bunker or something, presidential
Oh no shit!
facility thing of like, stop, don't ring the
Don't
number. I don't know if
dial
that's
in for
true or not.
Christ's sake.
When I was a little kid, I was like, "Oh, that's so fucking amazing! I want to go to America and try that." But
Yeah.
There was a thing that in certain like phone boxes made before 1995. There was a thing because I read this. I remember reading it on the internet like loads later because I tried it. Just if you held the receiver down and then pressed the change button at the same time and posted money, more money would come out than you put in. So you put 20p and 40p would come out.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a news article once on
No,
Wales
you-
Today. This was such a slow news day. There was a fucking 7-minute article on Wales Today about a guy who cleans a phone box outside his house.
I like the way that you sort of you sort of make fun of them for having the 7-minute thing, but you watched it and timed it.
Yeah. It was about 20 past when it came on, and the end of the news was coming up. Speaking of the end, that's it. I'd like to really thank my co-participants for this week: Antonio Romola,
Thank you.
Kenneth Trainer, and Gaz Mataz.
Silence.
Yay.
If you want to get in touch with us about anything, your nominations for Hero of the Week, Cunt of the Week, A Question of Tone, your best and worst things of the week, you can follow us on Twitter @TheLast7 or email us thelast7podcast@gmail.com. You can also now go to the Facebook page. Boom. The Last 7 podcast was recorded at my flat, edited at my flat, with additional material by Punra and DJ Alchemy.